pumpkin spice latte!
Welcome back, my ghouls and gourds. It's spooky season, which means it's time to find out which books are pure pumpkin spice reads and which ones are pure bone-chilling terror. Today, I've got 4 Halloween perfect picks, a gothic classic, a witchy brew, a horror motel stay, and a creepy coming-of-age tale. Let's see where they fall, pumpkin spice latte or black coffee of horror. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm trying to find books that fall on the cozy pumpkin spice scale of spooky reads and then those that will make you shit your pants. Before I tell you which books I picked and read for this vlog, I'm going to give you some of my own personal recommendations. So starting on the cozier pumpkin spice area of Halloween and fall reads, we've got Pumpkin Heads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. A fall fair, friendship, and a sweet romance set during Halloween. This is ultimate pumpkin spice vibes. And then I have A Dark and Secret Magic by Wallace Kinney, Hedge Witch Life, Autumn Herbs, Halloween Covens, and a dash of forbidden magic. Cozy pumpkin spice vibes with just enough shadow to keep it interesting. And on the dark coffee scale, I've got Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees by Patrick Horvath. Imagine Ted Bundy as a cuddly cartoon bear who runs a quaint shop, bakes pies, and occasionally butchers strangers. Cozy small town vibes, turned stomach churningly sinister. And then we've got Creation on Art and Unbecoming by Christopher Zeischeg, a surreal descent into the violence of making art, where intimacy mutilates and the act of creation itself becomes a form of flaying. Think body horror snuff film drenched in gore, sex, and depravity. Now let me tell you about which books I chose to read for this vlog. Garlic and the Witch by Brie Paulson. This is the second in the series. It's wholesome, cozy, and magical. This is basically a cinnamon spiced candle in book form. It's about a nervous little garlic bulb who goes through puberty, shops for vampire food, and accidentally starts turning into a human. It's proof that even vegetables aren't safe from awkward life changes. In this continuation of this very cozy graphic novel series, Garlic and the Witch gives us more of the warm, whimsical world where vegetable folk, witches, and vampires coexist. Garlic is a shy but brave little bulb, and this time she's not only learning to face the wider world, hello broomstick adventures to the magic market, but also how to face herself. Her gradual transformation into a human adds a layer of tenderness to the story, turning what could have been a simple quest narrative into a thoughtful exploration of identity, change, and self-acceptance. The vegetarian vampire count is an absolute delight, and what makes this installment shine is how it speaks to the anxiety of growing up or growing different in a way that feels universal whether you're a child or an adult. Garlic's reluctance to embrace change is deeply relatable, yet the story reassures without being preachy. Change is scary, but it can also make space for growth. The art is every bit as enchanting as the first book. It's whimsical and cozy, muted yet with a magical, soft color palette. You have green-tinged autumnal hues, and just enough gothic atmosphere to balance the sweetness. It's a style that feels gentle, quirky, and comforting, perfectly suited to middle-grade cozy fantasy, but laid enough to resonate with older readers too. It is a gentle, funny, and soul-soothing story about bravery, friendship, and finding your place, even when your roots are shifting. It's perfect for fans of cozy fantasy, spooky season reads, or anyone who has ever felt too small for the big world. The next book I read was The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. Headless Horseman, pumpkins, and autumn nostalgia. Pure pumpkin spice vibes with a touch of eerie. I listened to the audiobook of this, which was produced by BBC and has Martin Jarvis narrating. It included music, singing, and sound effects. It was very fun and theatrical. A superstitious teacher, Ichabod Crane, tries to win a girl, loses to the local jock, and maybe gets yeeted out of town by a pumpkin-wielding ghost on horseback. This is one of those stories that feels less like a ghost tale and more like autumn bottled into words. It's set in a small Dutch settlement in New York, and it follows Ichabod Crane, a lanky, superstitious schoolteacher who wants 2 things. 1, Katrina Van Tassel's hand in marriage, and her father's hefty inheritance. Unfortunately for Ichabod, he's competing with Brom Bones, the local jock with charisma and a horse. Maybe he's packing like one too. Cue one faithful knight, a pumpkin, and the legendary headless horseman. What makes this classic stand out isn't the plot. It's basically a love triangle with a spooky prank attached. But the atmosphere. Irving drenches the scene in autumnal detail. You've got crunching leaves, misty fields, dark woods, glowing jack-o'-lanterns. It's cozy and eerie all at once. The kind of story you want to read by firelight with a mug of cider. As for scares, by modern standards, it's more boo with a wink than nightmare fuel. The Headless Horseman looms large in American folklore, but in the text, the horror is playful. It's part ghost story, part satire of Ichabod's gullibility. It's a timeless Halloween classic, best enjoyed for its atmosphere and folklore roots. If you're here for genuine terror, you're not gonna find it. But if you're looking for a pumpkin spice infused ghost story with a dash of humor, it does the job. I thought though for a short story, it sure does take a while to get into it, but once again, it's not much of a plot. It's all about the autumn vibes. And as it turns out, Ichabod was a money-hungry coward who was trying to cut another man's lunch. I have to say it, the movie is better. But once again, I did want to read the classic. I wanted to read the story that the movie was inspired by, and the BBC audiobook was a fun experience. Now we're sliding along the scale into dark coffee territory, and we have The Low Low Woods by Carmen Maria Machado and Danny. It's creepy Appalachian body horror with witchy undercurrents. More terror than spice, but beautifully haunting. In The Low Low Woods, you are dropped into the haunted Appalachian mining town of Shudder to Think, where the ground smolders with coal fires and the forest is crawling with uncanny, garish nightmare creatures. Two best friends, Al and Octavia, try to untangle the town's dark secrets after they experience a strange, unsettling blackout at the movies, which leaves them with missing memories. What follows is a fusion of body horror, folk horror, and raw feminist storytelling. The comic pulses with themes of trauma, memory, and reclamation. Specifically, the violence women endure and the ways a community chooses silence over reckoning. The monsters here aren't just the skinned, eerie figures slinking through the woods. They're also the cultural forces that feeds on women's bodies and stories. As horror, it's psychologically sickening. Think slow dread, grotesque imagery, and an atmosphere of inescapable rot and abuse. It's the kind of book that lingers in your head long after you close it, making you chew on its metaphorical weight as much as its horror. Visually, it's painterly yet gritty. The art has a hand-painted, almost watercolor wash texture laid over rough, sketchy, inky lines. It balances softness with decay. You have cinematic blocking as well, so the use of wide horizontal panels feel like shots from a feverish indie horror film. Its stillness punctuated by grotesque revelation. The color story is warm autumnal ochres and oranges, which contrast sharply with the poisonous purples, algae greens, and eerie blues. It feels like the forest floor glowing under toxic moonlight. The color gradients from sunset amber to bruised violet give the scenes a dreamlike decay, as if beauty itself has gone fungal. It's Appalachian witch punk painted in bruised tones. This was haunting, visceral, and devastating. It is a horror comic that proves the scariest monsters aren't always the ones in the forest. And this, I would say, is for readers who want their Halloween reads with brains bite and a burning coal seam beneath their feet. Please check all the trigger warnings. This ended up being much darker than I was anticipating in regards to the violence being perpetrated against the victim and the decision of whether or not you want to remember, or perhaps if it's better you just forget. The next book I read is Woom by Duncan Ralston. Two strangers meet in a cheap hotel room to share their darkest traumas. And let's just say, the stains on the carpet aren't the scariest things in there. Woom is the kind of book you read with one eye open, one hand over your mouth, and a strong desire to bleach your brain afterwards. The book goes hard for splatterpunk, grotesque body horror, taboo-breaking shocks, and stories that make you wonder if your Kindle needs a cleansing or an exorcism. It's disturbing, gross, and definitely not for everyone, which of course would make it catnip for extreme horror fans. The stories are oddly compulsive, and yet you hate yourself for continuing to turn the pages. This is one of those cases where the content, full on, but it is told in a way that makes you want to know what's going on. So you have a guy and you have a sex worker that he's hired come to his motel room while he performs sex acts on her and tells her sickening stories, and then the book culminates in a up act of violence. But like I said, the way the story is told, it's breadcrumbing you, and you just you get a bit more, and then you realize you're in the fucking oven and the doors close behind you. I will say though, as I was reading the book has a lot of black characters, and something made me go and check that the author was black, and they're not. It's a white author, and I don't know, guys, I'm not a black person, so I don't know if the representation was fine, but it felt a bit icky to me. Why did this man choose to write about black characters when he's not a black person? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Just come to your own conclusions there. But for me, I don't know, it didn't feel right. But now I'm going to sum up all the books that I read in this reading vlog, ranking them as beverages. So the pumpkin spice latte of this vlog, which is cozy and lightly spooky, goes to Garlic and the Witch by Brie Polson. It's wholesome, adorable, autumn in a book. This is a pumpkin spice latte with extra whipped cream and cinnamon sprinkles. And then we have a chai latte, which is your classic spook factor. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. Atmosphere, pumpkins, and the Headless Horseman. It's more cozy gothic than terrifying, like sipping a full chai latte on a foggy night. And then we have a double espresso, disturbing and unsettling. The Lolo Woods by Carmen Maria Machado and Dani, a creepy Appalachian folk body horror with strange magic and haunting themes. It lingers in your head like a too strong brew. And for straight black coffee spiked with wormwood, pure dread, graphic, disturbing, we have Woom. Extreme, grotesque, splatterpunk intensity, not just horror, but stomach-turning, why did I read this terror? So tell me, which side do you fall on this spooky season? Are you here for cozy pumpkin spice reads? Or are you diving headfirst into pure nightmare fuel? The perfume for this reading vlog is the Raconteur's No Tell Motel. It has olive fruit absolute, Tasmanian mountain pepper, white cypress, amber, sandalwood, and musk. The No Tell Motel is a fragrance that breathes with tension and mystery, like the hushed confessions exchanged behind cracked motel doors under a Tasmanian moon. It's gritty yet refined, green yet smoky, a story told in shadows and flickering amber light. This is a scent for those who love complexity and shadows and don't mind a little edge to their elegance. To me, this smelt like a sexy date night. And the book that I would pair with it is All Fours by Miranda July. It's a bold, sensual quest for freedom, an invitation to linger in shadowed rooms and unexpected spaces where identity, desire, and domestic life are reimagined with thrilling intimacy and complexity. Those were all of the books for this reading vlog. Let me know your picks in the comments below. And until next time, stay spooky, Star Child.
Get me some coffee. Black.